Hi, I'm Mark here at the gun range today, and I'm here to talk to you about kind of a touchy subject. And as I talk, please just excuse the gunfire in the background. I'm at a gun range here. There's somebody over in the next bay shooting, so there is some gunfire. But talk to you about kind of a touchy subject that I wouldn't really think this would be a touchy subject. I've been around a few years, but I guess we live in an age where anything can be touchy. And this has actually become one. I'm going to talk to you about safeties on guns, on handguns in particular, semi-automatic pistols. And again, you wouldn't think this would be touchy, but it gets touchy. It gets right down raw online sometime with people commenting on safeties. So I'm going to talk to you just a minute about safeties and different kinds of safeties on handguns, and just give you a little commentary of my own on them. This is a compact 1911. It's a para expert carry compact version. The magazine is out, gun is cleared. The gun is now cocked. The hammer is back and it's ready to fire. It has a single action trigger. The trigger pull is rather light and crisp, 3.5, 4 pounds, very light and crisp. It feels like a 1911, feels great in your hand. And the standard means of carrying a 1911 for people who carry them is with the hammer back, round in the chamber, ready to fire, but with this, I'll see if you can see that up kind of close there, the flip-up safety on. And also, most all modern 1911s have a grip safety. So without both of those safeties disengaged, this gun will not fire. That trigger will not work. I can push in on the trigger on the grip safety and it will disengage it, but the trigger still won't pull. The flip-up safety has to be pushed down. The grip safety has to be compressed. Both of them are now disengaged, and that's the only time that the hammer can drop. And people who carry 1911s and others that know how this gun works see those safeties as perfectly reasonable. To carry a gun with the hammer back, ready to fire, they consider those two safeties to be reasonable, and that's the standard way that gun is carried. Then there is the infamous Glock that has no external safety on it, a little thing in the trigger they call a safety, but I'm talking about something you flip up that gives you an extra measure of safety with the gun. It does not. It has, again, magazine out, gun is cleared. It has no external safety. When you rack that slide, the striker is pulled part of the way back. A firing pin or striker block is in the mechanism, and then this little piece in the middle of the trigger actually has to be compressed before the trigger will pull, and they call that's a safe action is what's called. But there is no external safety here. That's all you do with it after it's cocked. You can pull the trigger. That's basically it. There's no other way to make the gun safe, to make the trigger inert, or to stop the trigger, jam the trigger up. So the Glock has no safety. So we go from the 1911, hammer fired with two safeties, engaged for carry, which is a standard, to a Glock that has no hammer, has a striker, which is partially pull back when you rack the slide. The trigger pull completes that and lets the striker go forward, and there's no safety on that gun. This is the, again, cleared. This is the Stoeger Cougar, and it's a hammer fire gun, and it is a gun with a decocker and safety. This lever right here doubles as both decocker and safety. Some guns come with just a decocker alone, and the decocker also makes the gun safe. The safety gives you an extra layer of safety if you want to use it. What the decocker does, if you've never used one of these, it's kind of counterintuitive. You've got a magazine in, you got a round in the chamber, and you want to get the gun in a safe way to carry it. You push down on that decocker and the hammer drops, which is kind of freaky the first few times you do it. But it doesn't fire the gun. It drops the hammer on a firing pin block and leaves it there. And the hammer will not come back and the block will not move until that trigger is pulled all the way to the rear and the hammer drops again. What you can do with this gun, once you have cocked it round in the chamber, you can decock it, and with this one you can put the safety all the way down and leave it there, and it makes the trigger inert. There's nothing to pull. Or you can leave it decocked and be ready to fire with it without having to fool with the safety. It is in a safe condition this way with the hammer down. It's in a safe condition on top of the firing pin block, and you can have it ready to bring out and draw. The downside to it is you got to learn to work with these. You got to work with them and learn to use them, because that first trigger pull is very long and very heavy. All of that plays into the safeties on this gun right here. You really don't find much controversy over the safeties on this gun. Again, you can carry it just like that, or if it's cocked, you can decock it and carry it just in the decocked position where you wouldn't have to do anything with the safety. You just draw and pull the trigger, and then get a short trigger pull after every one of those. That's the way that gun works. Now here's the two that really seem to have the kind of safeties where there's a touchy issue, and that is striker fired pistols. This is a Smith & Wesson Shield with no magazine, cleared, and this one, you can buy the Shield. You can buy this Shield with or without a flip-up safety. And when I bought this one, here's the safety on it right here. It's small. It works well. It's real flat against the gun, so it really doesn't interfere with your fingers or your shooting. But it's not hard to engage, and it's nice and crisp. It goes up and it works well. In that position, it stops the trigger. It jams the trigger up. You can't move the trigger. Turning it off, you can pull the trigger. So when I bought the Smith & Wesson Shield in 45 here, the reason I bought the one with the safety on it was not because I cared so much about the safety, but because the ones with the safety were $30 less than the ones without it. So I bought it, and it has no, if I don't want to use it, it's not in the way, and there's no problem with it. But the reality is I carry this gun quite a bit, and I'm tucking it in around a lot of clothes and inside the waistband, and sometimes in a belly band, and I use the safety. So when I'm tucking my gun in around all that stuff, I give it an extra layer of safety by pushing that up. Now, that's where the problem seems to come in with a lot of people who seem to just hate anybody that suggests that you do that. Now, I don't tell anybody to use that safety, and I don't tell them not to use it. I tell you what I do. I've got a Glock here that I carry about 40% of the time. It doesn't have a safety on it, and I use it. But I carry this one for a whole lot, and I tuck it in some pretty tight places around a lot of clothes, and I use that safety when I tuck it in. Not because I don't use careful gun handling procedures, but because I know I'm human, and I want to add that extra level of safety when I'm moving around and tucking that thing in and knowing I may have to bring it out around all that stuff. I use that little safety. It's easy enough to bring out, flip that down, and shoot. Or there are times when if I've got an actual holster inside the waistband, I'll put the safety on, carefully put it in the holster, and then I'll actually flip the safety off if it's in a regular inside the waistband holster. Either way, I use it as an extra layer of safety. Same thing with the Smith & Wesson M20 magazine. Gun is cleared. With the M20, the flip-up safety on it is right here, and that one's very much like a 1911. And I got this one with the safety on it because that's the one we had in the gun case when I bought it from the employer I used to work for, where I got 20% off buying my handguns. I wanted one of these. We had this one. We had it with the safety on it, and the safety didn't bother me. I would rather not have the safety on this one if I had a choice at this point. I just got the gun because that didn't seem to bother anything, and it really, you know, I'll do the same thing if I'm tucking it into something tight. Sometimes I'll go to church, I'll put a belly band on, and I'll actually wear this gun with a belly band, in a belly band at church, and I'll tuck it in real tight. I'll wrap my belt around it, and when I tuck it in, again, I'll put that safety on while I'm tucking it in, and then I'll reach down and I'll pop it off and leave it in that condition when I carry it. But with that safety on, just like a 1911, trigger won't pull. Pop the safety off, trigger pulls. Now, I don't know how many times I've seen on forums, on social media, on gun pages, on blogs, on all kinds of things. I don't know how many times I've seen people get on there talking about one of these guns with a safety. You talk about using a safety, and commenters come on and just disparage them and act like, just assume that they're lazy, assuming that they're not using good gun handling measures, assuming that they're substituting that safety for actual gun handling safety, assuming something. Here's what that is. That's blustering bad boys that want to be online warriors, want to look smart, and love seeing what they think in print. You see, the reality is the safety on this gun, whether I use it or whether I don't, if I'm using good gun handling skills and safety skills and using safety procedures, it doesn't matter whether I use that safety or not to you. That's my business. It doesn't make me a better or worse gun handler for using it or not using it. And it doesn't make anybody else worse or better. It just simply means they want an extra layer of safety because they acknowledge their humanity. How many pictures and videos have we seen online of people that have been shooting guns all their life, blow holes in their hands and their legs and their hips, have all kinds of negligent discharges because they become so familiar with guns that they just forget or get distracted and become so casual about handling them that all of a sudden they get reminded. So the reality is that with a safety or not with a safety on these guns, either way, people have to use good gun handling procedures and safe gun handling procedures. If not, they're still being careless. They are being lazy. But for people that are exercising good gun handling procedures, using a safety is not something to insult them over or to accuse them of something over or to assume something about them when you don't know them. So, all of these guns, I use these. I just shoot this one. I don't carry it because it doesn't perform particularly well. I carry this one, I carry this one, I carry this one. And from time to time, I'm going out somewhere where I just need to be able to decock the gun, drop the safety on, just leave it inert without having to worry about it too much. If I want to put it in the bottom of a tackle box, I'll carry that one too. In any case, I'll use the layers of safety that I have, and it doesn't make me a worse or better gun handler for it. It's about me deciding I want an extra layer of safety. And that's what it is for anybody. And to assume otherwise is asinine. So, that's my take on safeties today. The safeties on all these guns belong where they go, belong where they are. If we want to use them, we can. If we don't have that extra layer of safety, and we'll practice good gun handling procedures and go on about our business without anybody insulting us, whether we use them or whether we don't. That's good practice. I'm Mark, and I'll see you very soon.